You stand at the crossroads, hesitating as you have 1,000 times before. This moment of weakness is your enemy, yet you embrace it like an old friend. Listen closely, for I will speak only once. Discipline is not a choice. It is the only path. Without it, you remain trapped in the cycle of mediocrity, forever explaining to yourself why you failed to become what you knew you could be. The warrior's path begins when you recognize that your greatest opponent is not external. It is the voice that whispers for comfort when your muscles burn. It is the mind that conjures excuses before dawn when your bed feels warmest. It is the fear that tightens your chest when opportunity demands action. Until you conquer these internal enemies, you will never know your true capacity. Each morning that you rise before necessity demands it, you claim territory from weakness. Each repetition completed when your body screams to stop, you forge armor that protects against future surrender. Each moment of discomfort embraced rather than avoided, you sharpen the blade of your will. This is not punishment, it is preparation. The world does not care about your intentions. Results alone will speak for you. Consider the master swordsman. He does not hope to find courage in battle. He does not pray for steadiness when facing death. These qualities were forged in 10,000 practice cuts when no one was watching. When life demands his skill, he simply executes what his discipline has made inevitable. So must you become with your mind, your body, your purpose. The untrained, Unai sees only the final strike that splits the bamboo. The wise observer understands that victory was determined long before, in the countless hours of stance practice, in the calluses formed, in the unwavering attention to minute details. Glory exists not in the moment of triumph, but in the discipline that preceded it. The battle is won before it is fought. Silence is the sanctuary of the disciplined mind. In a world of constant noise and distraction, the warrior cultivates stillness. Not the dead stillness of inaction, but the living stillness of complete awareness. When you learn to be fully present, you see reality without delusion. Your perceptions sharpen. Time slows. The path becomes clear. Most live in constant reaction to opinions, to circumstances, to fleeting emotions. They are leaves carried helplessly by the current. The disciplined warrior stands unmoved, observing the flow, choosing when to advance and when to remain still. This is the freedom that few understand and fewer achieve. Not freedom from difficulty, but freedom from being controlled by it. Empty your cup of preconceptions. How can you receive new wisdom when you cling to stale knowledge? The greatest obstacle to mastery is the illusion that you have already attained it. Begin each day as a student, regardless of your achievements. The master's mind is always the beginner's mind, open, receptive, humble. Pride calcifies, humility adapts. There is a rhythm to existence that the undisciplined never perceive. They crash against life's obstacles, expending maximum effort for minimal result. The disciplined warrior feels the natural timing of all things. When to strike, when to yield, when to rest, when to advance with unstoppable force. This awareness cannot be taught through words, only cultivated through consistent practice and acute observation. Regard pain as your most honest teacher. It reveals weaknesses you have ignored. It exposes limitations you must transcend. The undisciplined flee from discomfort. The warrior studies it. What causes you to flinch? What tempts you to quit? These are not signals to retreat, they are maps to victory. Your growth exists precisely where resistance feels strongest. The sword and the mind must be unified. A sharp blade wielded by a cluttered mind will miss its mark. A clear mind directing a neglected weapon will fail in execution. The body is not separate from the spirit. It is its physical expression. To strengthen one while neglecting the other creates imbalance that leads to defeat. Train both with equal devotion. Distraction is defeat in disguise. Each time your focus fractures, invisible wounds accumulate. The modern world conspires against your concentration, offering endless escape from the present moment. Resist this. When you train, train completely. When you rest, rest completely. When you speak, speak with full presence. Half attention is a habit that hollows your power. The undisciplined seek constant variety, mistaking novelty for improvement. They abandon paths at the first sign of plateau, never penetrating to deeper levels of mastery. The warrior understands that true progress often feels like repetition. The same form practiced 10,000 times reveals secrets invisible to the restless dilettante. Embrace the boredom of excellence. Perfection emerges from patience. You will be tested not when you are strong, but when you are vulnerable. Not when conditions favor you, but when everything seems aligned against your success. The discipline you forge in ordinary moments prepares you for these extraordinary challenges. Without this foundation, you will crumble precisely when steadfastness matters most. Many confuse motion with progress. They mistake busyness for effectiveness. The disciplined warrior eliminates everything unnecessary. Each action serves a purpose. Each word carries weight. Each thought directs energy toward the essential. This economy of being creates power that the scattered and verbose can never access. Do not be impressed by complexity. Mastery reveals itself in simplicity. The sword does not wield itself. Your potential means nothing without the will to manifest. How many gifts lie dormant within you? How many dreams remain unrealized, not because they were impossible, but because your discipline faltered? Talent without discipline is like a blade without a swordsman, full of promise, empty of impact. Observe the seasons. Nature neither rushes nor delays. The cherry blossom does not attempt to bloom in winter. The snow does not resist melting. In spring, there is wisdom in aligning with the natural rhythm of growth. Forced progress creates weakness. Patience builds lasting strength. Trust the process of continuous small improvements. Time is not your enemy, but your ally in the pursuit of mastery. Fear exists in the space between action and hesitation. Reduce this gap through discipline, and fear finds no place to take root. The decisive mind leaves no room for doubt to grow. When you move with complete commitment, whether in thought, word, or deed, anxiety dissolves into clarity. This is the practical value of discipline. It simplifies decision through habit. The right path becomes instinctive. The undisciplined seek external validation, constantly looking outward for confirmation of their worth. The disciplined warrior knows that true assessment comes from within. Did you adhere to your standards when no one was watching? Did you continue when motivation waned? Did you face uncomfortable truths about yourself without flinching? These private victories determine your character far more than public accolades. Your environment will either reinforce your discipline or erode it. Curate your surroundings accordingly. Remove temptations that weaken resolve. Eliminate distractions that fragment focus. Surround yourself with reminders of your purpose. The physical space you inhabit shapes the internal landscape of your mind. A warrior does not leave this powerful influence to chance. Society celebrates the exceptional but rarely acknowledges the discipline that produced it. They see only the summit, not the countless steps taken in darkness. They covet results while rejecting the process. This is why mediocrity remains the standard. The disciplined warrior finds satisfaction in the climb itself, knowing that the peak is merely confirmation of what was forged along the path. Your time is finite. Each moment spent is gone forever. The disciplined mind treats time as the most precious resource, investing it deliberately, protecting it fiercely. What deserves your attention? What merits your energy? What actions align with your deepest purpose? Answer these questions through your daily choices, not merely your words or intentions. Control your appetites or they will control you. Hunger, thirst, desire, comfort. These basic drives can become masters rather than servants. The warrior practices moderation not from restriction but from freedom. Voluntary discomfort builds immunity to manipulation. When you can abstain without resentment and indulge without attachment, you have achieved rare sovereignty over yourself. The undisciplined seek shortcuts, always looking for ways to avoid necessary effort. They do not understand that the effort itself transforms you. The resistance you push against builds the strength you seek. Embrace the full measure of the challenge. Before you, the path of mastery has no elevators, only stairs that must be climbed one step at a time. In solitude, you discover your true nature. Without external voices, what remains? Without distractions, what surfaces? The disciplined warrior values these moments of isolation not as punishment, but as purification. Regular communion with your deepest self prevents the accumulation of delusions. Know yourself completely, both your light and shadow, before presuming to understand anything else. A single purpose, pursued with unwavering discipline, will accomplish more than 100 goals approached with intermittent effort. Fragmented. Focus produces fragmented results. The warrior selects his objective with care, then commits without reservation. This singularity of mind cuts through obstacles that defeat scattered attention. Choose what matters most and build your discipline around it. When victory comes, as it inevitably will to the disciplined, receive it with humility. Success is not a destination, but a milestone. The moment you believe you have arrived, growth ceases and decline begins. There is always deeper understanding to attain, greater service to render, further mastery to pursue. The path has no end for those committed to continuous improvement. Remember that discipline applied without clear purpose becomes mere rigidity. The warrior is not machine-like in his consistency, but water-like in his adaptability. Principles remain constant, methods evolve. Be unwavering in your commitment, but flexible in your approach. This balance between structure and fluidity separates true discipline from simple stubbornness. You will fail. Accept this certainty without fear. Discipline is not perfection. It is returning to the path after every deviation. It is beginning again without self-condemnation. It is maintaining standards, especially when falling short of them. The resilience to continue despite setbacks ultimately matters more than uninterrupted success. Perfection is impossible. Persistence is invincible. The final test of discipline is its invisibility. When right action becomes so ingrained that it requires no conscious effort, you have truly embodied the warrior's way. Your excellence appears effortless to observers because the struggle has moved from external to internal, from forcing yourself to simply being yourself. This is the state of mastery, discipline transformed into nature. Now, as these words fade, what remains is choice. Will you continue as you have been, allowing momentary comfort to steal your greatness? Or will you embrace the warrior's discipline, accepting temporary discomfort for lasting strength? The path is clear, but never easy. The rewards are immense, but never guaranteed. Your potential awaits activation through consistent, purposeful action. Without discipline, you will stay weak forever. With it, there are no limits to what you may become.